I love you. Thank you. Nope, you're good. Stay right there. It looks like it's starting to stream. And I got to start over here, and let's see if everything stays connected this time.
Okay.
Hi, Gray Moon. Could not access the specific channel or stream key. Are you kidding me? Which one?
Probably your...
All right, it says I'm broadcasting, and everything is online. I'm going to go with it. Let's go with it. Everybody here, we good? Do we have picture and sound and everything?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right, looks like we're good. Nice to see you, everybody. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to take a deep breath here.
It's a miracle freaking it ever works.
I know, and it always, it's just okay. This is going to be kind of a fun show. Yes, those technical difficulties. They're just when you think you have it all set, then it's not. And even though you don't change anything, somehow it changes. You get the gremlins, I guess. So, all right. You know, today is the winter solstice, and astrologically, there are a lot of really big things happening up in the sky. We have the sun coming down into the lowest position of the year, making the days short and the nights long. The moon was believed to dip low and give birth to the sun, bringing in the power of meaningful reflection, release, and renewal. Today we have a very special event with Jupiter and Saturn coming in the closest conjunction they've been in 800 years. This will usher in the age of humanitarianism and new ways of thinking and relating to one another and opening to more to our higher selves. Jupiter brings creative vision, and Saturn brings form and order to those innovative and new ideas. This is the great mutation into the air signs and will bring a profound evolution of global social development in ideas, the sharing of information, a technological revolution, increased communications, deepened relationships, and more harmonious collaborations. So if you have big ideas for the next 200 years, if you're going to be around that long, now is the time to start connecting with people that you want to make those kind of collaborations and making really great things happen. Air is the energy. Air energy is inquisitive and fluid, and it is involved in this new shift in energy that we're going to have because of this conjunction going forward. Intellectual development will expand and people will continue to awaken. People around you will be more easily red-pilled. Be gentle and compassionate when you bring new information and ideas to people. They are already energetically going to begin to become more and more open to new ideas and thoughts. And you can see this in the news and the world around you. And even in your social circles, you can see that people are becoming more and more open to ideas that they have been closed to before. People will reach for balance between the good of the collective and authentic, independent thinking. We can find ourselves in two different camps a lot of times when you focus on the good of the collective or being an independent thinker. And this is now, we're now going into an age where we will be able to blend both of those sides of the coin into, wow, look at the time on that. We'll be able to blend those together and really develop and make some beautiful things come forward in the next couple of generations. I know that seems very contrary and backwards to all of the things we've seen going on in the world around us right now, but it's coming. Because it's coming, people are changing on the inside, and people are thinking and identifying things, and people are really digging in and reflecting on what is really the most important. The state of the world around us forces us to go inward and look at what is really most important. And as we come into the energy of family and self-development. We're going to see a lot of, hi Alyssa, I see it too. It is coming, and I do feel it. Usually this time of year is really heavy and hard for me, and I've really been trying to practice being more introspective during this time and looking at what I need to correct and fix and heal, as well as what I need to, where I want to develop, and things I want to bring forward. And I feel the energy of that coming too. The long nights bring us into this state of reflection, and the darkness asks us to pay attention to things that caused us sadness, loss, pain, sorrow, and remorse. You know, we not only have loss and pain, but we go back at this time of year and look at things that we could have done better or where we could have been better. And this is the time for getting in and reflecting on those things. And look at, I put that note in there twice, so I'm going to go to the next screen. Let the darkness bring the light. The winter solstice is the time to work magic related to metamorphosis, fresh starts, home and hearth, family, relationships, world peace. You know, we can work on that globally, but we can also work on that in the microcosm, in the little space around us, our own little worlds. Work on bringing peace in those spaces as well. Personal growth and restoration. This is a time to let go of things. This is a time to do a lot of personal renewal. Releasing with love and compassion is a powerful act. Forgiveness for yourself and those who've injured you is a wise teacher. Set your ego aside and find humility. Make plans to make restitution when you ask for forgiveness. The darkness in our thoughts and actions are here to teach us how to find the light. Our weaknesses can always be healed and made into strengths. They can become tools for us to lift others when we have mastered them. Every time we have a challenge, every time we have a weakness to overcome, the lessons that we learn there are very valuable. And if we are listening to more than just the words being spoken around us, if we are listening to the hearts and energy of the people around us, our own experiences become tools to help and support those around us and help them on their journey too. This dark season is here for us to forge our frailties into strengths. It is here to teach us to see the unique vibrance of our own light. You know, we go into the season of darkness and we sit with our sorrow and we sit with our remorse, and we often forget that we are light beings and we have the energy and we are our own source of light that is part of the greater source. And we often forget to sit and enjoy and recognize our own light. I had a really unique experience in a meditation one time where I lay down and I closed my eyes, and it was very dark. I went to a very quiet, dark place. I didn't build my space around me. I just went to the darkness to wait, and I relaxed there, and soon I began to see a very bright light filling the space that I was in, and it took me some time, but I identified that was my own light. And it was an experience that I won't ever forget. I never thought to look for my own light to see what that was like, what color it was, what it felt like, and where it came from in relationship to my physical body. It was a beautiful experience, and you know, once you recognize this, you know a lot of things about yourself. We come from light and we return to light. We are eternal, unending beings, and this is our light is that part of what makes us so. And when we recognize our own light, we know that even in the darkest places, we can shine our way out of them because we are light. Even though the short days make our energy feel dull, we feel a strong desire to isolate ourselves, we can turn to developing our gifts and deepening our practice. Learn a new metaphysical tool. If you want to learn how to use a pendulum, this is the season for doing it. Learning something new begins in darkness, and as you practice it, it moves you into light. This whole season is about moving from the darkness into the light, moving from sorrow into joy, moving from pain into relief, moving from remorse into restitution and acceptance. Be confident that good things are coming, even with all of the things going on around us. In our small worlds, we still exist in a space that can't be touched by politics and all of the things going on in the world around us. And ultimately, that is where we reside. And so if we are confident that good things are coming, as the days begin to lengthen, we will see those come our way. Hi, Serena.
Serena!
Set your space for meditating or performing your rituals. Ground yourself, anoint yourself, sit with your reflections, release what is no longer needed, and create a clear vision of what you want going forward. I want to introduce you to somebody very special to me. This is Tina Larsen. She's going to be coming on with us in a minute. Tina spent her time as a registered nurse. She is a Reiki master. In fact, she is my Reiki master. She gave me my Reiki master, and we are both recovering Mormons. And she's a wonderful, wonderful woman. She's a practitioner of Birthing as Nature Intended. She's an ordained minister, and she is an author. Today, Tina is going to be joining us. I'm going to bring her in here. All right. So again, my wonderful Tina.
Hi, guys. Alicia and I have known each other for, God, who knows how long. She says she's a recovering Mormon. I'm recovered. I'm done. I'm so over that. I've been so over that for 40 years. So I'm just going to give you a little brief idea about Ho'oponopono. And Alicia can put up these slides. Can you put up the book slides?
I will.
I love these two books, but if you want to know more, when you start reading The Heart of Huna, it talks about other people you can read. And it's not a big, thick book. It's narrow, but you can enjoy it. They're both narrow. Ho'oponopono is a process of atonement or reconciliation among individuals of the same family or the community or the global community. So it fits in right now with where we're at and what we're doing. And it fits in with the reflection that we will be doing on this very dark night and into this next week of days becoming longer. But we take advantage of Ho'oponopono today and tonight. It will be huge with the solstice, with the conjunction of the two planets. It will be an amazing journey for all of you. It's a very simple exercise. What I suggest, because I always suggest this, is before you do it and after you do it, you journal. Why do you want to do Ho'oponopono? Who is it that you need to ask for reconciliation with? And not one person, maybe it's a group of people. It works beautifully because it sends it, even if the person is across the country or across the world, it sends that message of, I'm sorry, I love you. And what better message could we give than that? So here's the operating instructions, which they say in the book of Ho'oponopono by Luke Bowden, for one. The phrase is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. The words mean this. I'm sorry, it's an acknowledgement that I've created pain, not caused it, but created it. And what pain have I caused or errors I've made? So, have I made an error? I'm sorry. Forgive me. And this is really important because I didn't know I had it inside of me. I'm sorry. Thank you for allowing me to cleanse and release the memory so it comes out of me, and hopefully it comes out of those that were asking. I love you. My inner divinity, meaning I love me. When you should say this, when you are confronted by a conflict, a violent reaction, an accident, a traumatic event, anything that causes strong negative emotion to surge up within you. And isn't that relevant today in so many ways?
Yeah.
In so many ways. It can be said out loud or quietly to yourself. So when we practice this today, because we won't be interfering with anyone else, you can say it out loud if you'd like, or quietly.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would this be a thing that you could write out to somebody and give to them? You know, like break it down into each of those steps and...
Gosh, I've never thought about it that way, honey. I think, yeah, if your intention is clear.
Okay.
Yes, it's about intention. Gosh, I'm going to have to ask Mark about that.
Okay.
I'm going to have to email and ask him, and then I'll let you know, and you can let everybody know.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't what we did when I was learning it, of course, because we weren't writing anything down. But I'll ask Mark.
Sure. Okay.
You are speaking to yourself, your inner divinity, your protectors, the universe, and God when you say this. And yes, it can be used preventatively. So I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Even when you're not experiencing actual conflicts, it allows you to ease any memories that may have emerged without your knowledge. So maybe in dream state, in meditative state. Some people recite this as a mantra when they're meditating, or when they're taking a walk, or hiking, or riding a bike. It's a great mantra. Can you say it during a happy event? Yes, because it puts your ego to bed and you can fully experience joy in humility. Can you do it while watching TV? Of course. Or when you're online? Of course. Because if anything inspires negative emotion in you, including this, which was I probably should have been doing Ho'oponopono, and so you should have with this little snafu we had. But yes, you can use it. Do you have to say every phrase? No. You can say thank you, I love you. And you can say that out loud to a person, just when you're online with them, or happen to be, if you're lucky enough to be in person with them. And what happens after you say it? Can you describe that, Alicia?
What happens after you say it?
Have we done it enough that you know how it feels?
Well, I remember doing it on the walk over the ocean that day. We threw things in the water, and
So what did you feel like after? What did you experience?
It was very freeing, very peaceful, and very centering. Um, the ability to let go of things that felt hard to let go of before, that you just felt like you were so clenched onto,
Yeah.
is we need to be able to do that. We carry too much, and I was carrying way too much at that time when we did that, and needed to let it go.
Yeah.
I felt lighter.
Right.
I felt quieter, and I didn't feel like my mind was going around in circles about things that were hurting me. So,
Right. I think the important thing to hear is have no expectation.
yeah.
I did this with someone I dearly love and have been estranged from for a long time. And I did it every day, often as I thought about it. And it changed everything, changed our relationship, made it better, made it happier. Um, so don't have an expectation, just let it be what it is.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Okay, can you put the two cards up?
Sure.
The blue one first, if you have them separate.
This one.
I can't see them.
Let's see.
Got a blue sky behind it. It says Divine Creator, Father, Mother, Son is one.
Yes. Were they both different? I thought it was the same one.
No, they're different.
Okay.
Well, they're not. No, we can use. Let's use the other one that says Ho'oponopono on it.
Okay, that's the one I made the card of.
Okay.
Okay, that one's up.
Okay, I will read a few things and then we can do it.
Okay. So you go ahead and read them, and when you're ready, I'll go back to the slide.
Okay.
Okay.
Divine Creator, Father, Mother, Son is one. If I, and then you say your own name.
Mm-hmm.
My family, relatives and ancestors have offended you, and then you say someone's name. Your family's relatives and ancestors in thoughts. And ancestors is important because we have all this ancestral trauma and ancestral healing that is absolutely necessary for all of us, remembering them.
Yes, and we carry genetic wounds and genetic information from our ancestors, and we need to heal that too.
Well, and they're proving that we carry those genetic wounds, scientifically proving it. So
Mm-hmm.
we kind of can't deny it anymore. We knew it spiritually, but now that they've proven it genetically. In thoughts, words, and actions from the beginning of our creation to the present. Humbly, I ask you for forgiveness for all my errors, resentments, guilts, hatred, hurts, trauma, or pain, offenses, blocks, which I have created and accumulated from the beginning to the present. Please forgive me. So now we're going to do the experience together.
Okay.
So put the white card up so they can at least follow along. Please.
Sure. Okay, so you want to let them know what they want to do here?
Yes.
Okay.
So hand on your heart. And if you could, I assume you can see the card.
They can see the card.
Quietly to say to yourselves what the quote is. And I will read it with you.
Okay.
So to yourselves, unless your microphones are turned off and we don't hear you, then you can say it out loud. The line is where you put the I, after the I is where you put your name.
Okay.
Divine Creator, Father, Mother, Son as one. I, Tina Larsen, wish to do Ho'oponopono between myself and now say all the words you wish to release. You're going to release them to the universe. You're going to release them to Mother Earth so she can use them for good. The universe will use these for good. All the things you wish to release at this time. all the time you need. It might be a long list, it might be a short list. When you finish, just relax. Feeling your heartbeat in your hand. Cleanse, sever, cut, release, transmute, and return to the path of pure light. Now take a deep breath in. Put your other hand over your hand that's been on your chest. And say, Ha Mahiki, we are set free. It is done.
Ha Mahiki, we are set free. It is done.
Hands in the air, off to the universe, off to Mother Earth, with great thanks.
Thank you, Tina.
You're welcome. That's how simple Ho'oponopono is. It is but it's extremely powerful. And if you're interested, get the 2 books that Alicia has put up, and know that all of us who practice this are with you. It's a team effort. It's a group effort. It's always happening and always changing. And the Hawaiian healing arts are an amazing thing to study, and not even study, but just to read about. They help deepen whatever your practice is.
That's wonderful. I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate you sharing this with us today.
I appreciate everyone's patience.
Yeah, definitely.
Love to all of you. Enjoy the holidays, and please stay safe and well. We up here in Washington are still in number 3, so.
Yeah. Let me see if anybody has any questions for you before you go.
Sure.
Do we have any questions for Tina before she goes? We have a delay, so we'll give them a second to get any questions up if they do. Thank you, Serena.
Can I pitch my book?
You can pitch your book. Tell about your book, would you?
This is my book, and when you see the picture, which you won't see now, but it's called My Own Darling. The people on the front are my parents when they were 17. They fell in love when they were 12 in a small town in Utah, northern Utah. Eloped when they were 21 because it was the Depression. Were married 68 years when my mother died at 89. These are a compilation of our over 800 love letters written during World War II. My dad was an officer in the Pacific Theater. So for 3.5 years. There were no R&Rs at that time like there were in Vietnam, which was my war. So
Right.
there you go. My Own Darling. It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. I will stick a link to that in the end of the slideshow for this, so anyone who wants to read such a great love story. Yeah. That was a real labor of love for you to do that.
Oh, it took me 9 years. If anybody thinks they can write a book in a month, they're crazy.
Yes.
This current one is taking me 100 years? I don't know.
No, this current one, once you're gonna do just fine on this one.
I know.
I know the topic is heavy, but
She can share that with you some other time.
That's a needed story too, so you just keep writing.
And it was 40 years ago this month, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great. Love you all.
Love you, Mama. Thank you again.
Bye, sweetheart.
We'll see you later.
Thank you, Tina.
Okay, so see why I love her so much. She's just such a dear friend and wise woman. I always feel so lifted and inspired, and we have so much fun together. So I really appreciate her being with us. Can you still hear me?
Is it echo?
What's it coming from?
I don't know.
Let's try that. Okay. Let's see if that ends it. See that? If I close the Zoom meeting, let's see if that.
It's gonna be one or the other.
Hold on a second.
You're gonna have one of your other open windows is feeding audio back into it.
Gonna do that. There you go. That should stop it. Okay, that should stop it, guys. All right. Serena asked a question before we go any further about extra protections. Do you still have an echo? I shut down all my things that might be echoing. It might be coming out of Corey's microphone. Do you still have an echo? Same effect. I don't know. I closed down all my windows that would have a microphone coming in. Corey?
Yeah.
Could it be echoing from your microphone?
Nope, my microphone's shut off.
Yours is off. Okay, I don't have any windows open that have social media or things I'm streaming to open.
Maybe it's picking up from one of these and those together.
Well,
Good audio. And you got desktop audio. Okay, so yeah, it's.
let's turn one. Let's turn.
Well, hold on. Mic auxiliary mic and desktop audio. So it's picking up. It's pulling in from both of those. So.
Let's do that. Okay,
They'll
can you?
really hear you now, because you don't have a mic. So I would leave that one on and turn that one off and see how that works.
Better? Better? Can you hear me? Well, let's see. Is it better? Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? It's getting better, and let's see if it's better. Still hear a little better. Well, you can hear me. All right.
Fix it.
No, there's still just a little echo. All right.
You gonna roll with it, or what?
I'm just gonna roll with it because I don't know what else to look at. It's good enough.
I bet you has something to do with these settings down here too.
Try that. Maybe that'll correct it. Oh my god, I never would have thought to look there.
I know. That correct it, guys? That fix it? Any better? Any better? Check, 1, 2. Testing.
Just adds to my magic, huh? You get to see me try not to be frustrated. Yes, my eyebrows are pointing straight up. Is that better?
Let me know, because if not, I gotta change it back. So we don't get good on
Good.
my end. Is that
Okay.
better? Is there no echo? Is the echo gone?
I'm gonna have to make a list of all these settings.
It's better.
All
It is
right.
better. There you
All
go.
right. Thank
Close it
you.
out.
Okay. I don't even know where I was. No, Sarah, you would zap it. So, let's go here because my concentration is shot. Let's go. Oh, now there's no sound. Seriously? Paula has no sound.
Well, is everyone have no sound or just Paula?
Paula, okay.
Everyone's heard it better,
Okay.
so it can have just gone.
Protection boundaries. Thank you, Serena. Start from the top. I have sound. Everybody has sound. You can hear me. Okay. So, this time of year also has a lot of dark things that are worked because of the alignment of the planets and so forth. A lot of dark work does get done in this time of year because it is the longest night of the year. So how do you protect yourself from these things? You can start very simply with a soak in oils and a personal anointing. You can expand your protection space if you just want to protect yourself personally. You can take a soak for purification and then anoint your body with oils and herbs for protection. You can expand that to your home and your property using stone gritting. Using stone gritting and black salt. You can use black tar water as well. That is very protective for limiting the kind of entities and energies that can come into your space. But know that it blocks everything out. It doesn't just block dark entities, negative entities, and energies. It blocks everything. So if you're going to use tar water, when I use it, I leave a window specifically and anoint the window specifically a space for the good energies and light beings and things to come into my space. I like to have that energy in my space and I don't want to block everything out. Yeah, tar water. It is the energy off switch. It shuts everything down. Everything makes it real still and quiet. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes everything coming in at you is just too much. So the tar water is really great for that. Those are my go-tos. If those aren't enough, you can do protective spell work. You can do binding spells. You can do what's the word I'm looking for? Banishments. But those are for things that are already in your space that you want to remove. Asphalt tar, or more like pine tar. Asphalt tar, yes, and it stinks. It really stinks. Asphalt tar is soak it in water and a combination 1 part to 1 part water to alcohol and some asphalt tar. You can get some asphalt tar at Lowe's. Home Depot doesn't carry it. That's not in a great big huge giant container, but you can get a little bit of that at Lowe's. They seem to have smaller containers for making your own. I also like to set specific sigils if I feel like during certain types of that's definitely the smell of it. It's like I don't know if any of you have ever been to the tar pits or come across a tar pit. It is very green, very hot smelling, very putrid, very oily. It's very oily smell. Kind of rotting, oily smell. I like to use sigils for protection too. Since this is just, this is just a few nights of the solstice here, you can make a sigil for protection during this specific time, and that way you're not using the tar water to block your entire space for a long period of time. You can do it for a short period of time with sigil as well. Anything else, Serena? Do you need any other suggestions? Those are the things I use and go to. wait to see if anything comes up. But those are things I use and go to. I really enjoy the process of making sigils. I really enjoy the focus that it causes me to have when I set my intention, going very specifically and in the present. SSG uses music and meditation for protection. Music is great. Laughter and joy and music, the more you raise the energy in your space around you, the further out you push things away from you. So music is a great tool for that too. You like salt and peppercorns too. Yes. Chimes and bells. Chimes and bells are wonderful. They clear energy really quickly. And the higher the tone, the more clearing they are. The lower tones that are more droning and deep are feel to me to be more inviting and as a calling in. The chimes and bells will call in higher energy, but I like to use them for clearing energy. It breaks anything up that's heavy in a space very quickly. Solid, firm intentions, yes, and immediate, not something that is out in the future. You state it as a present. You state it as a present tense now. My space is right. You state it as a present tense, not something that will happen or is coming, but is immediate and current and present in the space now. Wind chimes outside, one on the east. Yes, my backyard's full of wind chimes. I love them. I'm like a cat lady with wind chimes. I could have 100 wind chimes. My neighbors, I don't know if they like it, but I sure do. Hummingbirds like it too. So, when you set up if you're going to do any ritual work for this solstice, set up your protections first. Make your space secure so that you can work in the energy that you want to bring in. The quieter it is and the more it feels in alignment with your own vibration, the better you're going to be able to focus on your intentions during this energetic work that you're going to do. So put some thought and effort into that, and take your time with it. There's no need to rush that. Really focus on that and allow it to happen. Serena says she also sets boundaries for what is allowed to access me while I'm in sleep or astral. This is really, I appreciate you bringing this up, Serena. If you're very empathic and very intuitive and you have a lot of visitation from other entities, from those who've passed on, it's okay, and you should set boundaries for when is an appropriate time for them to contact you. It's not okay for them to reach out to you while you're in astral space or while you're sleeping or when you're about to go to sleep. I set the time. I have a couple times a day where I leave it open for that kind of connection. I like to be contacted when I'm in the shower and the water is running. I hear them better with the sound of the water running. I have better connection that way. Or if the sink water is running, or while I'm doing dishes. And these are appropriate times for me because I'm not too distracted by other things, and I can, if I have company, then I can give them the attention that they want without it interfering with my driving or without it interfering with my workday. It's okay to set those boundaries. And you know what? When you set those boundaries, they will abide them, because when they have to, it's just the universal laws state that when you set a boundary, they need to be abided by, and they do. When my mother died, we were not on good terms when she died, she kept coming around to visit me, and it was very disruptive. She would wait till I was just about asleep, and she would come in, and her energy was bitter and angry and upset, and it stirred up a lot of things for me, and it was very difficult for me to deal with. So I set a boundary, and the next night when I crawled into bed and she wanted to come and visit, I saw like a scrim on a theater stage come right up, and she couldn't pass that scrim. She was on the other side of it. She paced back and forth for a little while and got the idea, and she didn't come back. So I know that it works for you to set a boundary. If you have someone that's coming to visit you, set a boundary, set a time when they can come and see you, and they will abide by it. I have the experience that it does. I also have boundaries, or give or grant. Permission for people living who are allowed to access me. Well, yes. If you are one of those that travels in the astral space when you go to sleep, sometimes when people need your energy or your attention, their energy calls out to you, their spirit calls out to you, and they pull you in their direction. And so what Serena's talking about here is that you want to have boundaries, so that, you know, if you've had a long day and you're tired and you need to sleep, they need to not be able to just call on you and access you if you're not in a space that makes you available to doing that kind of work. So that's another place to have a boundary set. That's great, Serena. Thank you. Yeah. I can share an experience with that. I was very tired. This was a couple of years ago. I was very tired, and I had a dream about a friend of mine, and I just felt like I hadn't slept in days. And I messaged my friend after I had this dream about her, and I said, "Hey, I hope everything's okay. You were in my sleep last night." And she messaged me back, and she said, "You know, you came to me in my sleep last night, and you helped me with the things that were going on in her life." And she said, "I was in a very bad place, and I was in a very dark place, and I was thinking about you before I went to sleep." And that is enough when your friends and family are away from you, and they're thinking about you before they go to sleep, and how your presence in their life helps them. That is enough, if you're an astral traveler, for them to call you and take from you. So, you know, I encourage you, like Serena says here, to grant permission or deny permission for those kinds of things to occur. You need to be able to grant permission for these things when you're in a space to be able to do it. And if emotionally and physically and spiritually you're not there, it's okay to close those doorways down until you're in a space where you can do that. Thank you, Serena. Yeah, astral threads. It does make a huge difference to be able to say, "I'm just going to sleep tonight, no connections, no outside contact." Or, you know what? I've had a really great day. My lamp is full. I have the energy to give, and I'm open for this if there's anyone who needs. So, with that in mind, that covers your physical boundaries. That covers your spiritual boundaries, and that covers your astral boundaries. Because and it allows you to have some control and some space when you need it. When you have these gifts, and when you practice these things, a lot of times we feel like we're obligated at all times to be out there healing and doing and caring, and putting that ahead of ourselves. And while we put our friends and our family and the man down the street and the person we run into in the grocery, while we put those people in front of us for short periods of time, over time that takes a toll on us, and we need to be able to take time to renew and restore and fill our lamps and be ready to do more work. It is a fine balance in this of caring for others and caring for ourselves so that we can continue to care for others. So, remember that. It's okay when you're run down or feeling like you're going to be run down to put yourself first and put your the care of yourself and your energy and your spirit as a priority. Yeah, we do feel obligated to fix others. We are allowed to just observe. And sometimes observing is really important, because when we observe, we realize that maybe we can give support, but we don't need to lend more than encouragement and overextend ourselves, because a lot of times people are going through lessons that are their own, and as much as they want our help and our energy in those things, it's not always good for their process to have our energy and support. We limit their ability to learn what they need to learn when we step in and do too much. So sitting back and observing is really important. Do they need to learn this lesson on their own? How much support? Yes, people do have to do their own work, and sometimes they want access to our energy and our wisdom and intuition and healing energies and things, because doing the work is hard, and it's kind of scary to do it on your own, but we can find ways from the position of the observer to encourage them without taking away the process of them doing their own work. Really important. Do we have any other questions on that topic? Do we have any other comments on that topic? All right. Let's see. So a few of the winter solstice festivals that happen around the world. We have the ancient Roman festival of Saturnalia, and it is perhaps the most closely linked to the modern celebration of Christmas. This festival happened around the time of winter solstice and celebrated the end of the planting season. There were games and feasts and gift giving for several days. And social order was inverted. Slaves did not work and were briefly treated as equals. St. Lucia's Day is a festival of light celebrated in Scandinavia around the time of the winter solstice. Although it is now meant to honor St. Lucia, a Christian martyr, it has been incorporated with earlier Norse solstice traditions, such as lighting fires to ward off spirits during the longest night. Girls dress up in white gowns with red sashes and wear wreaths of candles on their heads in honor of St. Lucia. I don't know about wreaths and candles in my hair. I don't have very much hair, and it would be horrible to catch it on fire. But I imagine it's probably really beautiful to see. Even Antarctica gets its share of solstice celebration. Thanks to the researchers staying there over the long, dangerously cold season, while those of us in the northern hemisphere are enjoying the most daylight hours, in the southern hemisphere they are celebrating midwinter. Festivities include special meals, films, and handmade gifts. The Persian festival Yalda, or Shab-e Yalda, is a celebration of winter solstice in Iran that started in ancient times. It marks the last days of Persian month of Azar. Yalda is viewed traditionally as the victory of light over dark and the birthday of the sun god Mithra. Families celebrate together with special food like nuts and pomegranates, and some stay awake all night to welcome the morning sun. Again, this solstice really is about moving from darkness back into the light. Soyal is the winter solstice celebration of the Hopi Indians of northern Arizona. Ceremonies and rituals include purification, dancing, and sometimes gift giving. At the time of the solstice, Hopi welcome the Kachinas, protective spirits from the mountains. Prayer sticks are crafted and used for various blessings and other rituals. So around the world, we have an example around the world of all the different ways that people recognize the significance of the energy of moving from the darkness into the light. In the winter season, which is typically marked from the end of November until in through the solstice, we have the gods and goddesses for the winter season. Alcyone is a Greek god, is the kingfisher goddess. Pardon me. I can hardly read my own notes here. Every winter for 2 weeks, and while she does, she rests. There we go. She rests every winter for 2 weeks, and while she does, the wild seas become calm and peaceful, and Alcyone was one of the 7 sisters of Pleiades. Baldur was a Norse god and is associated with the legend of the mistletoe. His mother, Frigga, honored Baldur and asked all of nature to promise no harm to him. Unfortunately, in her haste, Frigga overlooked the mistletoe plant. So Loki, the resident trickster, took advantage of the opportunity and fooled Baldur's blind twin, Hodur, into killing him with a spear made of mistletoe. Baldur was later restored to life. I have to open up my screen here a little bit differently because I can't see it. Here we go. Bonadia was Roman goddess, and she was worshipped in a secret temple on the Aventine Hill in Rome. Only women were permitted to attend her rites. Her annual festival was held in December. Early in December, high-ranking women would gather at the house of Rome's most prominent magistrates, the Pontifex Maximus. While there, the magistrate's wife led secret rituals at which men were forbidden, and it was even prohibited to discuss men or anything masculine at the ritual. Demeter, who is a Greek goddess, through her daughter Persephone, Demeter is linked strongly to the changing of the seasons and is often connected to the image of the Dark Mother in winter. When Persephone was abducted by Hades, Demeter's grief caused the earth to die for 6 months until her daughter's return. Dionysus, Greek god, a festival of Brumalia, was held every December in honor of Dionysus and his fermented grape wine. The event proved so popular that the Romans adopted it as well for their celebration of Bacchus. Frau Holly, Norse goddess, appears in many different forms in Scandinavian mythology and legend. She is associated with both the evergreen plants of the Yule season and with snowfall, which is said to be Frau Holly shaking out her feathery mattresses. Frigga, Norse goddess, her son Baldur, by asking all of nature not to harm him, but in her haste overlooked the mistletoe plant. So we have both Frigga and Baldur, her son, who are associated with this season. The Holly King, which is a British or Celtic figure found in British tales and folklore. He is similar to the Green Man, which is the archetype of the forest. In modern pagan religion, the Holly King battles the Oak King for supremacy throughout the year. At the winter solstice, the Holly King is defeated. Hodur, the Norse The Norse god was sometimes called Hod and was the twin brother of Baldur. The Norse god of darkness and winter. He also happened to be blind and appears a few times in the Norse skaldic poetry. When he kills his brother, Hodor sets in motion the string of events leading to Ragnarok, which is the end of the world. That's Horus. I just had a thought, but I'm going to let that sentence stew. Horus, the Egyptian god, was one of the solar deities of the ancient Egyptians. He rose and set every day and is often associated with Nut, the sky god. Horus later became connected with another sky god, Ra. So as the moon takes over its longest night, we see Horus rise in the morning. La Befana is Italian. This character from Italian folklore is similar to St. Nicholas in that she flies around delivering candy to well-behaved children in early January. She is depicted as an old woman on a broomstick wearing a black shawl. All the imagery of her, she is an old crone with warts on her nose and no hair and her head tied up in a scarf, but she delivers candy. She is not at all as homely as she is not seen as a scary figure. Lord of Misrule is British. The custom of appointing a Lord of Misrule to preside over winter holiday festivities actually has its roots in antiquity during the Roman week of Saturnalia. Typically, the Lord of Misrule was someone of a lower social status than the homeowner and his guest, which made it acceptable for them to poke fun at him during drunken revelries. In some parts of England, this custom overlapped with the Feast of Fools, with the Lord of Misrule being the fool. There was often a great deal of feasting and drinking going on, and in many areas there was a complete reversal of traditional social roles, albeit temporary ones. Mithras, Roman, was celebrated as a mystery religion in ancient Rome. He was the god of the sun, who was born around the time of the winter solstice and then experienced a resurrection around the spring equinox. Odin, a Norse god. In some legends, Odin bestowed gifts at Yuletide upon his people, riding a magical flying horse across the sky. This legend may have combined with that of St. Nicholas to create the modern Santa Claus. Saturn. Every December, the Romans threw a week-long celebration of debauchery and fun called Saturnalia in honor of their agricultural god, Saturn. Roles were reversed and slaves became the masters, at least temporarily. This is where the tradition of the Lord of Misrule originated. And lastly, Spider Woman, Hopi. Soil is the Hopi festival of the winter solstice. It honors the Spider Woman and the Hawk Maiden and celebrates the sun's victory over the winter's darkness. What is going on here? All of these gods and goddesses bring us to bring us into thinking about different ways in which we can look at overcoming the darkness and moving into the light. These are energies that you can call on when you're working your ritual and when you are working your spell work during this time as well. Get to know them and get to know, see how they fit into the energy of what you want to create. As you move from the darkness into light, this is a real time of creation, and this is an opportunity for us to connect with, my brain is just, this is an opportunity for us to move from the darkness into the light, moving out of stagnation, moving out of lack of creativity, and moving out of emotional pain and spiritual pain and into a place of joy and creation and positive energy and into action, really. When we move from stagnation and stillness into creation, we become more active. Our minds are active, our creative centers are active. We feel more social and able to collaborate and work with people. This is the season to do that. The winter solstice, on the shortest day and the longest night, keep your inner light shining bright. On the evening of the solstice, I have a couple little things here for you to do if you want to try. If you want a sample of something, you can try. On the evening of the solstice, place 2 mirrors so they reflect 2 candles and each other. So you want them facing each other with 2 candles in between. Search for the 7th reflection in the mirror. There you will see the reflection of your one true love. As we celebrate the longest night of the year, we have an opportunity to learn about ourselves and our desires as they are reflected back at us by the mirror of night. The following plays with an image in the mirror as well as a promise of glowing light, helping us to see our dreams and plant the promise for the months ahead. So while you are looking into the mirrors, contemplate, what do I desire but don't let myself have? Or what am I afraid to have or afraid that I will never have? What would happen if I let myself receive the gift that I desire? What needs to be released in order for you to make space for that desire to come into your life? What lessons have you learned in this past year that has strengthened your desire? What is something that is dissonant in your life and causing disharmony? What is something that is resonant in your life and is causing harmony? A message of clarity to guide. And then sit and listen. Ask yourself these questions. Write down your answers. Take the time to really be introspective about this and be honest with yourself. What is causing the disharmony in my life? Is it me? Is it something else? Can I change it? If I can't change it, can I let it go so that I can move beyond it? And then be honest with yourself about what you desire. And allow yourself to really formulate and visualize what it is you want. And then sit and listen. Listen inwardly and listen spiritually and see what inspiration comes to you about how to move down the path of your desire. Something that should be planted, that shall seed your desire. Your seed might be a practice, a move, a business change, or something else that helps you grow into your desire over the coming months. This is where you take your action. What do you need to do? And then make your plan. The ritual involved all around this solstice is very much about self-introspection and letting go and creating something new. So we have one more meditation here. It's very similar. It incorporates the Ho'oponopono in part, and I'll read this out to you, kind of as some instructions on what you need to do to create a space for yourself to really do this work. In the winter time, we deal a lot with our shadow, and our shadow is the side that we it's not very, when you look at your shadow on the ground, you see the outline of yourself and you see the dark space there. But you don't see the details of it. You don't see your face, you don't see your fingernails, you see the outline of your clothing. But when you take the time in this season to really examine your shadow, you go in and you get inside that shadow and you look outward at the light. So, and you find the light and the spaces in the shadow, because even in the darkness where you stand, you are the light around it. So this is how you can kind of expand the Ho'oponopono and the solstice divination that we just read through there on the other slide. Create a quiet and comfortable space. Use SSG's technique of adding music and because music lets your mind wander into open spaces. Add some aromatherapy and some candles. Light and scent open your mind and connect you to your higher consciousness. Close your eyes. Get comfortable and settle in. And close your eyes and breathe deeply in and exhale slowly. Give your mind permission to be free. When you are ready, take a few quick belly expanding breaths and visualize your future entering your life as a brilliant stream of light. Visualize your exhaled breath as the past gently vaporizing from your life in a cloud of smoke. Remember, surrender and let go of control. Sit in this space until you are ready. Open your eyes and write down the things you are ready to let go of. It can be one thing, it can be several. Let this be intuitive and honest. Be open to what comes to mind. Trust your intuition and don't judge yourself. Be really gentle with yourself during this process, but be honest and be concise. Close your eyes and visualize one of the items on the list that you wrote down. Imagine seeing it wrapped in a bubble of light in front of you. Repeat this mantra slowly and silently in your mind. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. Repeating it until your energy feels light and more at ease around each of the things that you have written on your list. There's no rush. Take as much time as you need. And when you're done, feel the ease and the release of knowing that you have forgiven the past and let it go. Repeat this mantra for each item you've written down. Take your time and don't rush the process. When you've finished the last item on your list, take several cleansing breaths and allow yourself to settle into a calm and peaceful state. Breathe quietly here until you feel the energy of creation and manifesting welling in your sacral chakra. When you feel ready, write down the things you wish to bring into your life. Close your eyes and visualize each of these items coming towards you in a ball of light. Imagine these things in detail. Be creative. Be open to receiving inspiration and imagining it in detail. Imagine the path to realizing each of the things you are desiring. See it clearly and accept that the path may mature and evolve as you begin to travel down it. Imagine opening your arms to receive it. One last time, close your eyes and breathe into a calm, peaceful, and abundant energy. Thank yourself for being present in the purpose of healing your life and creating more of what you want. Be prepared to receive everything you have asked for. Again, this time of the year is all about creating something new and healing the things that have transpired in your life that have that you're ready to let go of. Yes, make sure it's 432 hertz. Absolutely. I know there's a lot of other energy and things that go on in the winter solstice that are very dark and heavy and very destructive. But in our own little microcosms, we can create, using reflection and release, we can create renewal and restoration and ready ourselves for the coming of the light and the coming of the spring and a period of growth and creativity and productivity. So those are my thoughts on the winter solstice, and these are coming from the practice and the things that I have been really working through in my own mind and heart over the last month and going into January. And this is kind of where I've been at with it, with everything going on in the world around us and the weight of it all. It feels like the best place to be is kind of in a hermiting space and doing what I can to to make things in my own space and energy better. And at least that much I can contribute to making things around me good. And I know that you guys can do that same thing too. We can do so much to change things in the world around us right now. But it's bigger than we are, and our spaces are created by us. So let's use this winter solstice this year to create something powerful and beautiful and impenetrable for ourselves and our families and friends in the space around us. Because we can contribute to that. We can make those changes. So, happy winter solstice, everybody. I really appreciate your undying patience with my technical difficulties that seem to never end. And it means a lot to me. So, unless you have any thoughts or questions here, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm tangled in my cord here. All right. Well, alrighty. Thank you again, everybody, for being here and for your input and conversation with me today. And also, especially thank you to Tina for her time and energy on this. I just love her so much. We'll see you this evening with Corey. And have a great night, everybody, or afternoon. And we'll see you tonight.